Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name's Brian, that's my brother Adam, and today, bridges are in, huh?
Yay!
Yeah, congratulations to the dev team for being able to give us bridges, and we are gonna build one. Are you ready?
Can't wait.
Yeah, we've been planning all week, and we will get to it right after this. Let's just jump right to it. It's bridge time. Alright, let's get right to it. It is another major update. It is the bridge update. It's been a long time coming. We've all been anticipating it. We've been anticipating it since we built our castle in hopes that we would be able to utilize it. It's, I don't know, almost 2 years later. But it's finally here. How does it feel, Adam, to finally know that we can build these bridges?
I mean, part of it is, very exciting. And the other part is kind of, I don't know, I'm excited, but at the same time, just interested to see how this is going to shape up our construction here. It's sort of unknown or mystery at the moment. I don't know how you feel, because like when I started building this structure here and with your help, and I was very unsure of how whether it was even going to work.
Yeah, and there's a lot of questions that how do bridges work, and that's why we're here to answer those questions. So hello everyone that's in the chat today. Plague Juice, I thought you guys had quit Wurm. I remember watching all a year ago or so. That is true. We stopped doing the videos a year or so ago, maybe a bit more than a year, but now we're back. So what are we doing now? To recap, for anyone who doesn't know, we are building a community project on Xanadu. We are reimagining a deed that we had on Deliverance called Puzzle Labyrinth, where we build a giant labyrinth for people to adventure through. That's what you guys see on the screen right now. For people that have been following along the videos, then nothing's new. Last week we built some of the walls, finally. This week you can see a bit different. We built some of these buildings here in preparation to build these bridges and to figure out what exactly we have to do here. So let's get started. What do we have to do to build a bridge, Adam?
Seems like a pretty lengthy process to get into it. First, in your inventory, you should see something called a dioptra. Is it a dioptra?
All right. So I'm going to magically change the character that I'm playing, and I'm going to be going. Let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to magically transport to this character right here. Here we go.
Hopefully, it works.
There we go. Yeah, it worked.
Okay, so I'm hoping. I mean, when we first started, I was like, okay, got to make this dioptra. So I started looking up. It's like it needs a compass, a sight, and a couple other things. And one of them was like brass, and one of them was bronze. I was thinking to myself, man, this is going to take a while. I don't have any like in inventory on this stuff. So I'd have to go mine copper. I'd have to go mine zinc. I'd have to go mine tin, and make some of that stuff. And then, thanks to Kilroth, he sent me a dioptra. So thank you very much, Kilroth, for that.
So what is that for? What are we doing here?
I'm not sure. It's the tool used to start a bridge or to plan a bridge. Another thing you need is a range pole, which I'm holding on the other side. You can, and I guess you have to activate the dioptra. Right-click me, and click whatever the thing is, plan bridge, I think, right?
All right, let's give it a shot. Oh, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff gets put into this event window. So let me see if I can try to make it visible for you guys.
Right.
All right.
I like this interaction where it requires 2 players to start the bridge.
Yes, this is what I was saying, I think, a long time ago in many videos of me saying, I wish there was more, community effort, some like group community building where you needed 2 people or more to build something.
Mm-hmm.
And now we need 2 or more people to start a bridge. So that's a good start. I like that. So let's go into this. So you're saying, okay, in my inventory, there's something called a dioptra or something like that.
Right.
Here
it
is.
Right.
Made out of bronze. I need to activate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find you. I right-click you. Plan bridge or survey? There's
Plan
2 options
bridge.
here. Plan bridge. So
I'm not sure what survey is, but I think it just goes through the same process of planning a bridge just to determine whether or not a bridge is possible. Now, on my end, I have to right-click a range pole and right-click it to the ground, or right-click the ground.
What are you doing?
So I'm holding it. I don't know if you can see the animation or whatever of me holding the range pole.
I don't know. I just see something like. Argh.
What I like is that at the same time,
I am holding this forever.
When I do that, I like how it gives the emote. Hey, over here.
Yeah.
There's
like
a lot of detail.
Can you imagine like a random person just doing that to you? Like why? Do you think it needed to have that sound? I don't know.
If
somebody was like,
add some immersion to it.
Someone's like, I just want to randomly I want to build a bridge here really badly, so I'm gonna take out my pole and be like, hey, over here. I'm just gonna stand here until somebody responds.
So you're just talking about the role-playing aspect of it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so plan bridge. 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Oh, I'm holding it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're holding it, I'm holding it, and it's saying a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like it's.
All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this stuff.
Levels.
You carefully place the dioptra on its tripod in front of you. Looks like bridge would be 1 by 13th northeast. So 13 tiles. North south.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they forgot a the. Looks like the bridge would be 1 by 13. That's fine. The tile border to your north is level. You make sure the dioptra is level. It looks like a bunch of checks are happening here.
Right, right.
You point the dioptra at Griffith. You wave at Griffith. You line up the dioptra with Griffith. You look through the dioptra. You focus on the range pole. You read the graduations on the range pole and work out the height difference.
Now,
you appear to be 6 dirt lower than Griffith.
We found out the hard way that you need to be within 20 dirt slope in order to build the bridge. We tried this a bunch of times throughout the week since it was implemented, and we started over on not these buildings that we're standing on, but the ones to our east, and we only built, I think, 2 stories or whatever, and it sort of didn't work because of a cave opening that wasn't directly in front of us, but it was just off to the side by 1 tile, and it prevented us from building the bridge, which was kind of surprising when it happened and sort of threw off our plan. So we decided to build the other towers or whatever, just to see if that would work. At the time, we had no idea whether or not we could even build these bridges. So, oh shoot, I accidentally moved and stopped holding.
That would not be good. Okay, so a window has popped up. Everyone can see here. I can build the rope bridge. I can't build the flat wood, the flat brick, the flat marble, because it's saying that the north end, which is your end, needs a solid wall just below it, which we didn't build. We built this, I don't know what you call it, the balcony. instead. So I guess for flat wood, brick, or marble bridges, you underneath it would have to be like a plain, just plain wall.
Right. See, these are the sorts of things that are hard because like you build the whole structure, and then you find out nope, you can't build what you wanted to build, and then you go destroy the whole structure. You know, like it's these sorts of things that I wish that we knew beforehand.
Yeah, we could have done, I don't know, research, but you know that's not us. Okay, rope. We can do rope. Let's see what happens. I click a rope. I press next. Oh, a whole thing pops up. I can name the bridge. What should we name it here? Labyrinth. How about just puzzle labyrinth?
You know, regarding the researching it, I think we're in a point where people don't know really how bridges work. Like I've been asking CA help about bridges, and a lot of times I'm just getting the response, I'm not sure, why don't you just try it and find out? And I think that that's the sort of essence that you get in Wurm, that people have to figure it out for the first time and report it, and you know, compile on a forum thread all of the things that we've learned about bridges, for example.
And that's what we love about this game.
Yeah, and it's like a community project. Okay, are we ready?
I can either build it at 10% sagginess, 11%, or 12%.
Let's go with the... actually, that's a good question. Do you want to make it more saggy? Just for the
really, really saggy. Part of this rope bridge would have 20 slope difference.
Let's put it this way. Your skill isn't that high enough to allow for a less saggy. Like, I think the best is 3%, which would be really nice if we can get that. But yours is like, your best is 10 and worst is 12. You may as well go with the 12 to give that extra sagginess look.
It actually won't let me choose 12. Something's over it.
Oh.
Click, click, click. Come on. I can do 11. Maybe that's a little bit of a bug, but that's okay. Let's do 11.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
That's fine.
Finalize. Oh. We see a bridge. Let's see what it looks like from over here. I'll jump back to the character over here. Very light. You can hardly see it. I can sort of highlight it here. It's in pieces. Okay, so I'm not highlighting the whole thing. I'm highlighting sort of in tiles.
Right.
That's
I think those tiles are part of...
Looks nice. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to come forward. Let's see what it looks like. Huh. Puzzle labyrinth. Planned abutment? Is that really abutment? I don't know. Planned crown. Everything else is a crown.
Now, from what I've heard on the forums and just from what I've read, because this is our first, very, very first bridge. I haven't walked over a bridge or anything. This is my first interaction with the bridge. I found on the forums that people are giving a lot of positive feedback on the implementation of the bridges. Like there's very, very few bugs, which is really good to see. I'm really happy.
I think more along the lines of the implementation of it.
Right.
Has been extremely positive. Just forget about the bugs, but just the way that they did it, the ideas. We know the bugs will eventually get fixed, but the way they actually put it into the game, very detail-oriented, I'm hearing. And this is very detail-oriented. I like the way that happens. Anybody knows what happens to bridges not on a deed? Does it decay really fast? I guess there's not a lot of information about that. Whoa, what just happened?
So you need...
This, I don't know if this is... I know on test server, we see this a lot. We're underneath the where it says puzzle labyrinth on the mouse over. It tells you like the exact model.structure.bridge.build.abutment.narrow.rope. That's something that we see on the test server. I'm not sure if they just forgot to turn that off for the bridges.
I see that. I feel like we're missing something.
That's something that they'll get fixed eventually.
Did we forget
What
to
are
bring
we
logs?
missing?
You have
Add to
23
craft
logs.
window. Let's see what we got down here.
I didn't know you needed logs.
That's because of all of our fancy research that we don't do.
No, you know what? It
Allows
doesn't
us
show
to-
logs on the
doesn't?
research that I did. I think that logs might only be on the first.
Yep, that's what it sounds like.
I mean, how are we supposed to know that?
We have logs, don't we, somewhere?
Yeah, there's some logs. I'm
Okay.
hoping that it's not that many.
Okay, let me see if I can build some of like how this works. I see. Okay, needed tool, which is my hand. Where's my hand? It's here. Here's my hand. Bloop. Items for in my inventory would be the stage 1, which is log, mooring rope, and thick rope. So I
Right.
took some logs. I only need 4. What was the second thing? Mooring rope? Where's our mooring rope? Here it is. How many do I need? 2. And thick rope I need is 2. So I know there's thick rope in here.
All right. Now, one
Give
thing
this a
that
shot.
we didn't test, but I was
18.
kind of unsure about was
Hmm.
whether or not we needed to have a certain skill level to complete or continue the bridge. I read somewhere that made me think that it needed to be 10 rope making to continue.
Mhm.
So I quickly got my skill up to 10. But I guess we should have tested out whether or not
Well,
you needed the 10.
this is the deal. We knew that the rope bridge, which is what we wanted, had needed a rope maker, and neither of our characters were rope makers. That's why we have the third character there, and the third character planned it. But just like many things in Wurm, you don't have to. Well, what did I just do here? I did not queue up my stuff. I'll do 3.
Like many things in Worms, you don't have to.
You don't need to, in order to continue it, you don't need the skill that's required
Right.
to build it, to create it. So
Right.
that's what we were hoping. I only have something like 30 rope making. You said you had like nothing.
Nothing,
You got
yeah.
your skill to 10. It's probably going to be why it's going to take us a while.
Yeah. Now,
Oh, it's on step 2.
for those who are wondering, 10 seems to be enough. This is our first confirmation, I guess, because I'm continuing. But I have no idea if I had less than 10 whether I would be allowed to continue. Now, our priest, or our faux priest, has the rope making skill, but unfortunately, I don't think she can continue it just
Yeah.
because of the restrictions on priests.
That's true. Yeah, so we can just carry everything, and actually I guess I don't need logs anymore. So you were saying overall, I mean, finally, we've been waiting forever. Bridges finally come out, and the reaction to them is mostly positive.
I don't think I've seen one negative thing. It's astoundingly positive. I really like the added touch of the forum thread that was started by Rolf regarding screenshots, where people would continually add their screenshots. So it gives you an idea of all the things that you could do with bridges, and some of them are very impressive projects that look really nice.
So I am gaining rope making,
Oh,
mind,
is that the skill we're getting?
and mind logic.
Nice. I am going to turn on my sleep bonus for this then.
All right.
So it's
I
like some
guess I
good skill to
will
be
as
getting.
well. Okay, so with throughout all this, I don't know. I feel like that bridges. The reason why it's getting such a good positive attitude from everybody is because of the detail that they put into it, and they managed to hit basically all of the goals that the players asked for. I mean, just
Right.
as a player, what did we ask for? We want bridges to be able to, from house to house, to connect houses, to connect from a land to a house, land to land. We want lots of variety, and we want to be able to see the progress of it. We want visual confirmation somehow. We don't want a half-assed job like some things are. And hey, everything, they just sort of checked off everything. Everything works. And they did it in a way that is surprisingly polished.
Right.
And I think that's why it's mostly positive, because people come into the game and they start building something that they've never been able to build before with little problem.
Yep. Oh, I finished the first section, or we finished the first section. Are you here with me? Yeah, you are with me.
I am.
Awesome.
What are we doing here?
Okay. Moving to the next. I'm not sure whether we can stand on that now. Can we?
Let's find out. We can. Ooh, that's awesome. So I'm going to add this to the crafting window and see what I need. Do I have any of this stuff? I need some planks, mooring rope. Okay, the first stage is just a mooring rope, 2 mooring ropes.
Okay.
Which I have. The next step is a plank, is 10 planks. And the last is 4 cordage and 4 mooring ropes.
Now, one thing I'm not sure of is, can we move the wagon underneath us?
So we can get the items?
So we can access the items?
I don't know, has anybody tried that? You just like move the wagon?
Or will we need to continually go back to the first tile and bring mats across the bridge?
We might have to, although planks and cordage ropes and stuff, not the heaviest things, so I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay, you're right. But I can only imagine bricks and marble and those types of bridges being a little bit more cumbersome.
Yeah.
I mean, part of you might, partly you might say that you would already have wagons or whatever on the bridge, but I can't see a way of getting a wagon up to where we are.
Not to mention that this rope bridge, I don't think will fit a wagon.
Right.
That's just what we got right now. Now there's lots of varieties of bridges. I assume everyone that's watching knows, but just in case, if you've played Wurm in the past and you're watching this video and you haven't played Wurm for a while, there's at least, what did we see? 5, 3, 6, 7 different kinds of bridges. There's 3 arched, there's 3 non-arched, and then there's this rope bridge. And they're made out of the other ones are made out of wood, stone, and marble. And from my understanding is that you can even make it as long, depending on your skill, as long as you need it, up to 30 something tiles, 38 tiles, and then you can also make it wider if you want it. If you have that space, you can make it long and wide and sort of customize it to what you want.
That is so awesome that they made it so you can make wide bridges.
We need the planks.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what I need here. I don't need this.
Planks are not the heaviest stuff, but they do make you walk slow if you carry a lot.
You're right. Let's see what I got here. I need more of these guys. Let me carry 25.
Now, I did try to grab something out of the wagon while standing on the bridge, and it said, you must be standing on the same bridge as the wagon. So
I guess no luck.
Seems like there's no luck with that.
All right, so we're at least getting somewhere.
Another thing I'm curious about is
planks.
With this sag going under the bridge, let's say it sagged so much so that putting a tall wall, let's say, sort of clipped into the bridge. Will that be a problem? Or did they make it so that it has to be, is there a clearance calculated to make sure that walls and fences will go.
It's a good question that only time will tell. And I mean, after we build this, the only way that we could tell is if we tried to build a building like that. Although we have no plans to.
Or what if we like went into the center right underneath and just dropped a whole bunch of dirt?
You can't build a house under a bridge.
I'm not talking about a house. I'm talking about a fence. Or a wall, which apparently you can build underneath. Now, what I'm really curious about is what would happen if you just dropped dirt underneath a bridge or something like that. You know, there are issues that I can see, and I don't know how they were handled. Maybe they were all thought about, and this might be part of the reason why bridges took so long, is that there were so many different things that needed to be considered.
You're right. Yeah. And really only time will tell. I mean, the best way to do it would be to go jump on the test server, or just to build a bridge and do it yourself on the live server. But what would happen if you built this bridge and then decided, I'm gonna raise dirt and just all the way up to the bridge in the middle? Would they allow that?
Yeah.
Would your head get squished into the bottom of the bridge?
Like, let's suppose we built the whole bridge and then went underneath there and tried to build our tall walls, and it said, you cannot build a tall wall because the bridge is in the way.
That would suck.
You know what I mean? And then we would have to destroy the whole bridge, add, you know, another story to each house to bring it up. Wait.
No. You can't terraform at all?
At all?
At all.
I think we need to stop doing this.
No. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Are you sure?
How about, can you terraform next to a bridge? Please.
Buddha to the rescue. By the way, hey Buddha.
Can't terraform under a bridge.
Yeah, can we drop a dirt next to the bridge so that the tile under the bridge? No, that won't work. No, we won't be able to get dirt under this bridge. Because if you can't terraform under the bridge, that means all four corners under the bridge you can't drop dirt.
Huh.
And if you can't, then that tile won't be able to turn to dirt. So should we check our plans to make sure that
I'm gonna check that right now. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to be able to drop dirt under this.
Are you sure we have to have dirt underneath it?
Do you notice that you sit now on the cart?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's figure this out. Do I have dirt in here? Oh, rare dirt. I do have some dirt. Okay. Give me some dirt. Let's give this a shot.
Good suggestion. Chest right underneath the tile.
The dirt would flow down into a structure. Okay, that's odd. How about this one? It would still flow down into a structure that's above me. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
And all the way across, even the ones that are not finished.
Couldn't the message have been, you cannot terraform underneath a bridge?
Well, yeah.
Or something
that's
to
just
that
a
effect.
message that can be added eventually.
The dirt will flow down into a structure above you.
Let's see. I can go next to it, but I can't drop it here. We're gonna have an entire row here of rock.
Okay, check the plan. Make sure that will not affect anything. Like, for example, a hedge cannot go under a bridge, for example. If this is... well, not that a hedge can't go under a bridge, is that if we finish this bridge, we won't be able to put a hedge underneath it. Or if you want to be able to... Can you drop dirt where you are now, by the way?
I cannot. And let me check to see. Okay, right here,
And you
It
know,
should not.
this is
No,
what I
wait.
was trying to talk about at the beginning. You know, like like I'm super excited about bridges. I love how they look. I love how they turned out. But what I'm finding I'm having trouble with is, okay, I want a bridge here, but I don't know what problems I might like encounter. I haven't thought through the whole process because I don't know anything about any of the restrictions about bridges. So I have to we're sort of playing it by ear. And
Well, there you go. That's why we're doing the show.
my fear is that we build the whole bridge and then find out we have to destroy the whole thing.
I don't want to start again. How about you?
Yeah, well, if we can avoid it, I think that we should. But
I'm on the wrong one.
have you checked to see if there's any hedges that need to be done underneath the bridge?
There is one hedge that needs to be done under the bridge.
Shoot.
They can be replaced by walls.
hedge, wall, hedge, like that.
No, the whole side will be a wall. It won't be like that.
Could we put a gate there and lock it?
A gate. How does a gate help us?
It's like hedge, gate, hedge, and it looks like it's the gate to a hedge.
No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a full row of walls.
It's a full row going along the bridge legs.
Along the bridge. Unless, can hedges be built next to rock? I guess not. If one side was dirt and the other side was rock.
Let's see if we can
there.
Look at that.
Anybody remember that? I'm gonna guess no, but you never know.
This is part of the reason why I like Wurm. The problem-solving aspect of it. I just feel a little uneasy because bridges don't have all that information on the Wurmpedia for us to go off of. But that's okay because we got Buddha in our chat.
If they are made like houses, that mean you can't build anything underneath them as well? Like you can't build fences? You can't build...
But you can build fences in houses. Oh wait, can you build tall stone fences? Tall stone walls in houses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Oh, right. Yes.
We've done that multiple
times. Many times. Yeah. Wasn't there a restriction that you couldn't build fences on the first floor? Or did that get lifted?
I'm not sure if that got lifted. It's been too long. I mean, there was a restrictions where you couldn't build specific kind of fences inside of houses, and that got fixed. So.
Okay. I don't see anything related to on the hedges.
The bridge is looking pretty good. Yeah. Well, let's see. We can cut our losses and do this all over again, or we can just build the bridge. What do you say?
Now, you know best in terms of the design that you have laid out there.
We can work around this.
Okay. And it won't make it look out of place. Like you're walking through a hedge part and then all of a sudden there's like a wall in the middle. No?
It will actually be a lot like... It'll actually make it more symmetrical.
Okay. Let's keep going then.
All right.
And you're okay with stone along that tile?
Yep. I mean, yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
The only restriction I see on the Wurmpedia for hedges is that hedges can't be planted on crop tile borders.
I did not know that.
There's nothing about rock. But I would only imagine that it would have to be on dirt. I'm pretty sure it can't be packed dirt either. I've tried packed dirt.
Okay, well, at least we learned that you can't terraform underneath a bridge. We'll see what other restrictions are there, but for now, definitely terraform first, then build your bridge.
Right.
Guess there's a lot of preparation to be done. But this bridge is looking pretty good. I like the way that the building process works. I like how you build it in pieces and steps. I like the different unfinished models.
Mm.
I like the planned model. That's really nice.
Yep.
So far, I think I'm like everybody else, very positive to bridges. But that's not the only thing that was released in the patch. And the other things I don't think are faring as well as bridges are on the forums.
Mm.
Let's look at the next big thing, which are stairs.
I think stairs are...
I love that stairs have come.
Absolutely.
We planned stairs for our castle on a number of places, had placeholders, and we're like waiting. Finally, stairs. This is like amazing.
Right.
But what is the issue that people are having with them?
It's not even that big of an issue. It's well, okay. There's one main issue is that some of the models that were on the test server are not live. Like stone stairs, for example, kind of look the same as the wooden stairs. And I think there might be one other type of stairs that, again, looks like the wooden stairs. That I'm only assuming is going to be changing at some point or another. The other issue is that there's an opening, tile opening, in the same way that you would have an opening for a ladder above you.
Yeah.
It would be like a floor with a square opening in the middle. And that's where the stairs sort of come up to.
Mm-hmm.
And while this might not be that big of an issue, it does prevent you from making staircases that are just out in the open. I don't know.
That's the exact kind of staircase we were hoping to build in a castle. They're like
Right.
castle staircases. The open
Exactly.
concept. So, but I don't know. I would assume that I'm going to guess that more types will be made later with different styles that'll include that, and that this is just the first iteration of stairs. It's just
That's
a
a
guess.
very good thought that you had there.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if you read
just
that
came to my
somewhere.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I think I read that somewhere, maybe on the forums or in a chat somewhere. But
This show can't go on without Buddha. Buddha, you have to come to every show.
it's here's the problem. They take an entire tile. It's impossible to make a stairway in a 2x2 building. Is that confirmed? Is it impossible to build one, or can you build one and just mess up your house? Huh? I want the
Yeah.
ability to mess up my house.
I think you can build one. I'm not sure, actually, now that I think about it. Can you build one and then just the stair goes to nowhere?
Can you build a stair that's right at the entrance to a door?
Right. Or maybe an archway and then a staircase right in front of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Leading to a bridge.
Leading to a bridge. Perfect.
Huh? All these possibilities that can simply, I don't know, hopefully we can explore at some point. Or
Yeah, I
they
think
can be
that if
squashed right now.
I think that if you're in a 2x2
Somebody
house, you know, that's quite small. And in terms of like in real life, if you had a house that small, that I don't think that a staircase would fit anyway. You know what I mean? Like you would have something like a mini staircase. And I suppose we have those ladders for now.
Yeah, I want a staircase that leads to nowhere.
Yeah.
I want a staircase that leads up to an archway that makes me fall down outside the house. so people that come into my house will get curious and then damage themselves as they leave. No, I like the idea of being able to go up the stairs and then leading to a bridge.
Yeah. And I like the idea of stairs that go many stories high and are just like one big staircase that goes up to the top floor.
Yes, yeah. We built that.
Yeah.
In Autumn Twilight in our castle.
And you had it all set up, ready for it. And actually, the way they implemented stairs, I think that it would have worked very nicely with the way that you planned.
Yeah, we would have just had to have wait for the next iteration of stairs, I guess. Open concept stairs. I don't know. There should be an open concept stair pack that eventually makes its way out. But I think overall positive with stairs, in the sense that it's in the game and it works. The functionality works.
There is one other gripe that people have with stairs, and that is using them to bring things up to upper floors. So you can drag a cart and have stuff loaded on there. But in terms of, let's say you have a large crate at the bottom of the stairs, there's no way to get that up the stairs without dragging a cart.
So there would just need to be a wider staircase. I mean, it would only work in a bigger house. So you get like a wide sort of rampy staircase.
Oh, so an additional type of staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wonder, I haven't tested this, but how does the wagons and carts and stuff work on upper stories of houses? Like, are people having issues?
I was told by a reliable source that they are fixed. Or that they haven't had any problems with like carts and stuff on other floors.
Right, because we've had many times where we had problems with carts on upper floors. I had a problem in the labyrinth. No, not in the labyrinth. In the Autumn Twilight Castle, right when we were leaving for Xanadu, I went back. I was in Chaos. I went back to Autumn Twilight to pick up a whole bunch of stuff that we had there before going to Xanadu. And one of the things that I wanted to get was a rare demon statue that you had planted somewhere in the demon statue room. If you remember that room, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I do.
And you know, to do that, I had to drag a large cart up there and load the statue, and then drag it all the way back down. But I had problems where I loaded the statue finally after issues with that, and then all of a sudden the cart poofed back onto the first floor. Like, it just sort of disappeared from where I was and went into the first floor of the labyrinth, which, if you can remember what that labyrinth looked like, to get back to the cart was like I had to go through the whole freaking maze of a building to get to the bottom, only to find out that the actual cart was still, according to the server, up at the top 6th floor of the building, and yet the graphic was down at the bottom. And it was pretty stuck like that for a while.
Now, we'll never know for certain why. if it is fixed now, like I'm being told, we'll never know why it's fixed. We can only surmise. The person that told me thought, okay, maybe it has something to do with the collision detection, the collision system that they implemented. Maybe that helped multi-story out and made it so the carts are like good. This whole system that they needed for bridges that hopefully helped. Okay, before we start the next one, notice when I start this, I'm not sure if this is intentional. Before the first item goes into this bridge, the unfinished plans appears already before, which is a little off, right, with the rest of the way Wurm works.
Yeah.
So I click continue and poof, it just appears.
Right, and then you can cancel.
I can cancel.
That's not.
Is it a big deal? Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
I don't know if that's something that was intentional or not. I'm just pointing it out, just in case somebody's watching that can do something about it. Anyway, what were we saying? We don't know if it's the collision detection system or whatever they want to call it, or anything else that they did that magically made carts work. Maybe it has something to do with, maybe somebody just went into the multi-story code and did something. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That person, which I'm thinking would have been Zakal, who, if we recall correctly, made his brainchild, multi-story, back in the day of 2012. And from what we hear, he left the game, I think, to go to school or something like that, and now he's back. Right?
From a pretty reliable source, I'd say we learned that he's back on the projects.
He's back in Wurm, and he's back doing
stuff.
Wurm developer things,
which is really good news. I'm really happy to hear this, because I was always happy to see Zakal's additions to the game. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, so even though I said that we would never know exactly why the carts and stuff work now, we do. It's because of the bridges. Oh.
Yeah.
Now that the mystery is gone, it's just not as fun anymore. Anyway.
It had to be done. I mean, if bridges are going to connect to third story of houses and you're driving carts along them, it had to be done.
You're right. Yeah. I'm glad it was done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
absolutely,
it makes sense for it to be done. We've always had an issue with, and I believe it's a common thing in Wurm, who actually does their crafting on, let's say, a second, third, or fourth, or fifth floor, or a 10th floor. Where is your workstation located? And for us,
yeah,
all of our workstations have always been located on the ground floor, because it's the most convenient. There's bugs to bring stuff up there, up to multiple other floors, where your cart's just all of a sudden gone, or just took a long time to get to the upper floors, and therefore the upper floors were used as, I don't know, decoration floors, decorative floors, or things that aren't as important. And it's sad. It's sad that we can't utilize those floors for more than just decoration or an inn like we did once for beds. And I'm hoping with this whole bridge system and stairs, eventually that stairs will allow us to cart things up there a lot easier. I think that would, in and of itself, give a new dimension to the way that Wurm players play.
Absolutely. And it is interesting how you bring up the fact that upstairs was always relegated to decorative locations, you know? I've also struggled with trying to think of how an upstairs could be used. And really, it's very difficult. Like the upstairs building that we planned earlier in this, on our episodes, that was just a bedroom. Part of me was wanting it to be more than just a bedroom, but that's what it ends up being. And I don't even go up there now because it's too inconvenient to climb all those stairs to the top floor to get to a bed when I can just walk over.
Stairs will fix that for you.
Right, exactly. So that's my plan, make a staircase that leads up to the top floor and potentially to a bridge that leads to the other buildings that are nearby or to the other platforms that are above. Right now the path that I have to take to get up to the upper levels of the village, you have to go all the way around and up a dirt ramp that I built, and now I'm going to be able to go from one building right to the building next to it that would normally take me a good, 3 minutes of walking to get to, now in probably under 30 seconds.
Yeah. And here's a guy, he's worked on upper levels, and getting heavy resources up was annoying unless all my ladders were on the exact same tile. You needed
to have a big hole that went straight down to the bottom.
when we were decorating the castle. Now we actually used the castle for our work, right?
Right.
Your blacksmithing was in there. My
Right.
carpentry was in there. We had a leatherworking station. We basically had a station for everything. Masonry.
Yeah, every
All on the bottom
main
floor.
craft had a exactly on the bottom floor. Every craft had a little room with a station set up for it. Yeah.
So all the other floors above were just cool, imaginative rooms that we could think of. Like, there. If I can remember some, you were talking about the demon statue room, and
Right.
there was a room where I just put, what were they called? Colossus feet.
Right.
It just filled the entire room. I just filled the room with the Colossus feet.
And a bunch of other stuff that you placed on the ground too. And
I had a torture room.
torture room. Yeah, that was awesome.
Traps, all the traps, and I just laid them out on the ground. Just rooms like that don't do anything. I need more planks, don't I?
And there was other rooms like the dining hall that was really nicely set up. There was a bar. That was my favorite. Well, I made it, so of course that's been my favorite. There was what else was out there? There was a wine. Oh no, what was it? A place that we kept all our. Looked like a winery or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a winery, something. Nothing too fancy. Let me just take a bunch of these things, and it's Crawford. Hello, Crawford. He was here today. I gave him a meal, and he's helping us mine some of the iron veins.
Oh, nice.
So that was a good help. We have so many veins. When Sidestor, when I was trying to set you up with the mine, and I was trying to figure out which vein we had the forge, I walked into maybe 3 mines that all had a vein that we needed to mine out that didn't have the forges before I found the one that we were working on. We have a lot of veins that we need to mine out.
And some that aren't uncovered yet that are in the way for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got really unlucky.
That's true. But we'll do it. That's why every hit counts. If you can knock some of that stuff out, every hit counts. You can get rid of some stuff. So I brought down.
We mined out our first mine, our first vein, the very first zinc vein that we ran into. That one's gone now.
Was that stopping us from opening up a mine entrance?
It was stopping us from opening a mine entrance.
That one? That's awesome. Okay, that's good.
The problem is that we weren't mining properly. Like, we weren't mining up or like in the right direction, so it didn't make a mine opening when we cleared it. So we'll have to collapse it and possibly collapse a couple, or maybe use some concrete to fix the ground. I don't know.
Right.
We're gonna have to fix something.
That's okay. All right, so we're doing pretty good here. We're further along than when we started here. Or we're more than halfway through. So, not bad. So that's like stairs. Okay, stairs, overly mostly positive. More seeming like a work in progress. Whereas, I think the difference is, okay, with bridges, we're like, okay, it's a complete product as far as features to build bridges for. Like, here's all the bridges that you're going to be able to build. This is how it should work. Here's all the different iterations of how wide and how long it can be. And we're like, oh, great. With stairs, it's like, here's the first wave. Here's a couple stairs, and this is how, and it works. So we'll just throw you some, like, this is how it's going to work. Go.
Yeah.
Figure it out, guys. And which is probably why it's not. It's got some forum posts about it, but overall, because it does work, I think it's mostly positive. And then we get to the ship models, which is the last big thing that was included in this patch. How has that been receptive on the forums?
Yeah. You know, there's people who are happy with the new models, and then there's lots of people who are not like, I guess I'd have to say that maybe the correct word is nitpicky. They're sort of picking apart all the little details about the implementation of the ship models, and I think that
they're just bitter about losing wood types.
You know, I was about to say that. Like, I feel that, you know, they're not even focusing on the wood type thing, which I think is not. That to me is the number one problem with switching the boats over, is losing the wood types. I think that they're just not happy with the way the model is. They don't, and maybe they're like, they know a thing or two about boats in real life and how things should be, and they're sort of picking apart all of the details of the model. There's a couple things that made me cringe a little bit, like, for example, the seam on one of the boats was showing, and the way the planks were sort of textured in didn't look realistic. But overall, they are better than the previous ones. I don't know how you feel about it.
How about the people in the chat here? We got one person saying that they genuinely feel that the new models look worse. So we got one for the looking worse. And why do they look worse? That's a good question.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not like a big boat person, so I don't know really much about boats. I know
you just hide away in your blacksmithing like forge.
The like, old models.
There's boats now.
The thing is that the old models, to me, didn't look all that realistic in the first place. Like, they were boats, like they were recognizably boats, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, they didn't look that great. They looked like they were just sort of whipped together. Maybe they were worked on substantially, but I guess it's kind of like all the old models that were replaced previously, like the old BSB model and the old what else was replaced? The cart models, the old cart. Do you guys remember the old cart models? Goodness. And just and the old loom model, right? Like these old models that were there, just
the loom model.
They got updated to look like they had more detail, higher resolution, and you know, a lot of them were made to look better. Some of them, like, I'd argue that the BSB didn't look all that much better. Like, you could tell that the resolution was better, just the way the model was created was better. But, you know, with boats, they did make them look a lot different. And sometimes when they look different, people just don't like the way they look just because they're different from what they're used to.
Okay, so here's an idea.
I don't know what else to say.
Now, in the game setting, you can have a maximum texture size, right? There is a maximum texture size that's in the game. We can say, I don't want my texture size to be more than such and such, I don't know, resolution. 1024, every texture map would have to be 1024 by 768 or something like that. And you can raise that if you'd like. I believe you can raise that to no limit. I guess no limit meaning whatever it was created at. If it was created at larger than 1024, it would use that. I don't know what boats are used at. They are giant models that you go right up close to and have to click them, and then you literally stand or sit on them. I don't know if the textures were increased. If they just said, okay, we will improve the textures, we'll figure out a way to make it work so that you're not lagging so much, right? Because that's the main reason. Like, you don't want to lag really badly when you're riding a boat or when you're in a place that has tons of boats.
Tons of boats, that's the biggest issue.
So let's say they make that happen. Would that solve most of the issues that people are having? Yes or no?
Wait, what was the question? Sorry, I missed it.
If they just raised the texture, they figured out a way to raise the texture
of
and
the
make
old
it look
ones?
nicer. No, of the models that are in right now, People's
I
complaints.
see.
Would that solve most of the problems?
I don't know. You know, another point brought up in the chat here is that they look more cartoony, which I partially agree with. Like, and I don't want to sound too negative because I know that somebody has put in a lot of work into creating these models, and I know that the community like Wurm, when they lash out like this, it could, you know, it's it's not we were it's sort of we're bashing a certain person's work, and that person may feel down about it. I would say that the models look okay, but I also see, how people who know a thing or two about boats could dislike them.
Do you feel like they could just be tweaked a little bit?
I think, okay, here's part of I feel like when I'm on one of these boats that it's kind of like being on one of the boats from WoW or something like that. You know what I mean?
Not really, but hey, you played WoW a lot longer than I did.
It's like doesn't feel like, I don't know, a real boat, I guess. I don't know. But I have no problem with that because the reality of the situation is like it's not a real boat, really. It's a boat in a video game. So I am perfectly happy with the new models in terms of like I'm not going to nitpick about them, and maybe they could look better, but not enough that I would care too much about it.
Maybe with a few tweaking things like the seams that you're talking about or whatever. But other than that, maybe if they can figure out a way to make the textures a little better, that seems to be a big complaint. But the main thing that I think they should work on is getting this whole system that allows to dye the new models. Not to dye the new models. To have wood types of the new models.
Yes.
If they can figure that out, that would allow for, this is not just for boats, right? This is for every single wooden tech, and I think they know that they have to do this.
Yeah,
eventually, absolutely. At some point, that this would be a big feature that I think would, allow us to allow the game to move forward in sort of the direction that we as PvE players all want this game to move forward in. More variety. That's what we all ask for. Variety in the items that we create, the features that we do, the gameplay, game styles that we do. More variety equals better. And when something gets taken away, that's when I feel people don't, they start, it just gets to them a little bit. And that's when all the little nitpicky things come out, right? It's not that the rope looks funny, it doesn't look like it's tied in a knot or something. It's not that, the seam's a little different. It's that you took something away from us, wood types, and we're gonna find other faults with what you just gave us to prove that we need the old stuff back. Yes, that's what I think it is.
Could be.
People can overlook faults if they're given something, to overlook.
I suppose.
But okay, those are the three big things overall. How do you rate this patch?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Bridges were excellently executed, and I think bridges alone, if it was just bridges, it would be a 10 out of 10. My biggest gripe with it, and it's not even that big of a gripe because I love the bridge edition, is that they could have added a whole bunch of stuff together that they've added in over the recent months. all together in one big patch to make it.
You love the idea of the giant big patch.
Giant big patch, instead of trickling in content. That's my personal opinion. Others might.
And I know last week we looked, and okay, before I go into this, how about everybody in the chat here or on YouTube later? If you guys had to rate it, how do you rate this patch? Just overall. There's a patch, what was your rating? And while you guys get on that, last week we talked a little bit about marketing, the way that it was perceived I just brought up one news place that I've been to before, which is called Massively Overpowered it's called now, and they had a post that bridges are coming. Does anybody know? So I looked this week, or the day that bridges were released. Nothing, no news about Wurm, and there was no patch. There was no news updates like bridges are in, like nothing. It could have been on other websites. I don't know if anybody saw if Wurm got mentioned anywhere. I feel like if, like what you were saying, if they grouped everything together and made one big patch, they could have utilized this update as a big marketing push.
Right. Absolutely.
Instead, from what I see, I mean, I could be wrong. They could have. There was no marketing push at all. And marketing push meaning like people don't know about it that don't play.
Mm-hmm.
I think they sent out an email to all players.
Previous players. Yeah, and all players. Yeah.
So just something to think about. I hope that they start marketing the game a little bit. Free advertisement. All you got to do is go to all the news websites, news blog websites that get quite a few people, and just ticket. You can send in a tip, or they have contacts and stuff that you can go to, and basically free advertisement, and it's a win-win situation for both parties. Let's look at some of these responses here, guys. Let's look at on a number 9 out of 10. That's pretty good. Bridges were a much-needed asset to the game, and I'm glad to see they added them in. What else do we got? We've got bridges, however, are absolutely amazing, and the stairs, I'd also say, overall, 9 out of 10. 2 9 out of 10s. That's pretty awesome. I think overall, I would say also a 9 out of 10. I'm going with the crowd. It's a 9 out of 10. So congratulations, everyone that did this hard work. It was definitely worth it for the Wurm community. I think, overall love it and love the direction that all this hard work has brought us to in a PvE standpoint.
Right.
I think we love... God, we've been waiting for this forever. And unfortunately, Buddha only rated it an 8 out of 8, which I guess is the same as a 10. Okay. Anyway, but that's all the news there. There was something curious. Let's switch gears a little bit. There's something curious that was posted on the forums that you found. What exactly was it that you noticed?
Well, it was a post by a player who was asking about a flickering issue between objects on the ground and the ground. Like it was just like sort of a flickering.
Who was the player?
What caught my... Sorry?
Who was the player?
It was Keegan. And the title of the post was Ground Fluttering. So there was like this like flickering that he was describing between objects, like potentially like house walls with the ground or something like that. And what I found very interesting about this thread was that Saruman posted in it.
Saruman, you mean Zakal?
No, it was Saruman.
Zakal. Saruman?
Was it? I'm pretty sure it was Saruman.
Okay.
I can go double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Whoops. And he posted something very interesting that sort of, well, he first talked about how it was called something called Z fighting, where two models that are at the same depth are trying to fight to be on the screen at the same time, so that sort of flickers between the two. We've all seen it. It's like if you have two crates on top of each other, the top of the crate sort of like bug, like flickers. It almost looks like they're bugging.
Yeah.
They're flickering, right? It's because the two textures are trying to fight one another to be on the top because they're at the exact same depth or whatever. And he goes on to say that this issue is something that's prevalent in all games, and that it's something very hard to tackle in all situations. So it sounds like it's a common issue. We've sort of seen it. Everybody's seen it. So, but
this was not the interesting part, was it?
Yeah, he said one thing that was very interesting, and it's like, okay. Anyway, he said, and I quote, "It might get better in the new version of the client that's being worked on, however."
It might get better in the new version of the client.
New version of the
there
client.
There is a
that
new
is being worked on.
Version of the client. What does that mean exactly?
I'm not exactly sure what that means too.
Are we going to be able to just think of this for a second? There's a new client that they are working on. Is it...
Right. Now, I've heard mention of a graphics engine overhaul. But I've not, and maybe that's what he's like referring to. But
maybe
I haven't heard of a new client. Like, is this like a complete overhaul? New client? Like, are they building it from the ground up? That would be a very surprising project.
Yeah, like,
I haven't heard.
I don't think they would. A new client. What does that even mean? That means
I don't even know what that means.
Anybody know what that would even mean? Do you have logs on you?
Do I have logs? I do not. We will have to go back and carry some logs.
I am going to bring some.
That's a good idea. And Buddha is being suspiciously quiet.
There we go. An engine rewrite. Thank you, Buddha.
Oh, okay, there.
Is most likely what he's referring to. Okay.
Okay, so the graphics engine rewrite. Took Buddha a while to say that, though. I'm gonna go with conspiracy theory.
I felt like they're gonna change the way that we, enter the game and play the game, or something big.
Client rewrite just means isn't like the program that's on our computer that runs the game. Isn't that the client? That's right. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like,
I would assume so.
Rewrite of that's would be interesting, but we'll see. According to Buddha, it's just the graphics engine rewrite, but we shall see.
But we also have another theory here. Sounds like Wurm is just beta for them if they're working on a new client, making from the ground up and implementing with the new game. If so, I don't know.
I was interested.
The client the client is the thing that receives data from the server and displays everything that is supposed to be displayed and sends your actions back to the server for processing.
Right.
So I would assume that if something like this was implemented properly and they did nothing else, the players wouldn't really notice much difference. Although if they're going to do all this work, they want to make it look like, better.
Does this mean Wurm is moving away from Java to a different engine? I'm pretty sure that the graphics engine rewrite is something that is done within Java. Like the engine is programmed in Java, and they're sort of reworking it so that it has more functionality, but still within Java.
Right, and the last thing that you wanted to quickly mention about Gumbo, our
Right.
longtime player Gumbo. He was we were on his Deal or No Deal show on our
On
one
an
of the
episode,
events.
live streamed it.
Yeah.
One of the Impalong episodes.
So what is he up to these days?
So he's planning an event called Fight Club, which at first I was sort of thinking of it as one of the traditional fighting competitions or whatever. That's what my initial thought was. But when I read the post, it was, actually, I guess I'm not surprised, but it was very well thought out in that it's different, and it also has some aspects that I feel will make this event extremely successful. It almost has me wanting to go out there to it.
Ooh, so what about it has made you want to go out there?
So he's taking the perspective of like what a fight club actually is. It's where people get together and just fight for the hell of fighting. It's not a competition. It's a place to just learn about fighting in this game and to play around, like fight with each other. It's not like what we've seen in the past where it's a competition to the end and the winner gets a prize or whatever. It's just sort of like an event. It reminds me like of a fighting Impalong. Like an Impalong is something where people come and just collaborate and have fun and meet friends, and it's not a competition, but it's a gathering. And this sounds like the same kind of thing, but for fighting. People are getting together just like fighting, seeing how they match up against other people, and just learning a thing or two about fighting in this game.
That's pretty awesome.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Did you say what are the things that's like, that he's doing that's going to bring people?
Well, the first thing that I always think about with fighting is like, can I beat this one guy? Is it one-on-one? But he's centering it all around 2v2 fights, and possibly even bigger group fights, which is completely different than any sort of event that I've seen before. And that brought to mind quite a few different interesting things about strategy, because when you're doing a one-on-one fight, it's like you're just standing there and it's, you press a couple buttons, but mostly it's all automated. But with 2-on-2, there's quite a few dynamics that could really make strategy come into play and show how the fighting system in this game really shines. Like, one thing that I was thinking of is what kind of combinations could you create in a 2v2 fight? Of course you could have just two straight up fighters, but what if one of those fighters was a priest, for example, who can heal?
That would be probably the winning combination right there.
Right, exactly. What kind of combinations would be the winning combination in a 2v2? And it gave me sort of, and I'm going to equate this to Warcraft again, but the World of Warcraft arena battles, where you're always thinking about combinations of players in a 2v2 and possibly even a 5v5 situation. And I think that it adds an element of interest. Like, I wonder how we would fare against other two players.
Hey, the most that I did in PvP as far as arena-based play was when we played for a little while there the game Global Agenda.
Right.
That was fun. Yeah,
that was fun.
You got to see different combinations of classes. This sounds like it could be pretty fun. It also, you said here that kingdoms can come recruit and sell their exclusive wares.
Yeah, they want. He's asking kingdoms to come and possibly even be mentors for fighters and recruit for their kingdom. And I can think of no better motivation for people on Chaos to come over for an event than this. So, as I said before, I look at this event and I'm like, this event is going to be so successful because you're going to get all these people from Chaos coming to just have some PvP fun. meet new people on Freedom, recruit, and sell their exclusive wares, like their Hoda stuff, and their like he's opening it up to like just anybody can sell whatever.
Their kingdom flags, their kingdom banners,
flags.
their
Yeah,
might be able to
everything.
bring a kingdom wagon. I don't know.
And another thing is that they're going to have a high-end merchandise auction, which also sounds pretty interesting. I kind of wonder
what does a high end mean?
High end,
like
you're talking Supremes, Drake sets, Supreme items with insane casts, maybe even better. It could be a bunch of stuff. And I like the idea of a live auction in this game as opposed to a forum auction. I think that would add, and only the people that are sort of present can,
can vote on purchase it.
Yeah, want to purchase it. Yeah. Oh, I got an achievement.
You got the achievement.
Maker bridge or rope bridge maker.
Adam got the rope bridge maker achievement.
Yeah.
I didn't get any achievement for doing all that work. That's okay.
This is awesome.
Maybe they can fix that up at some point, but no one's going to complain at the moment because we got our first bridge done. And as we wrap this down, let's think about bridges are in, which is something they've been working on forever. The game's been working on. That's done. We talked a little bit about this, but if we had to name something that we wanted them to work on, and I'll give you another chance.
Right.
And for everybody that's watching right now, tell me, what would you want them to focus on? What do you want the dev team to work on next now that bridges are done? What do you think?
Now, one of the things that, like, after we posed that question on the previous episode, we got some responses from people in, PMs and stuff. And I think I'm just going to steal one of those ones because it really is something that it tied into what I said before, but to me, it's something, a major overhaul of a system that will truly make the game more complete. And that is a 3D mine system, a purely 3D mine system. I know that would be a quite interesting challenge to implement in this game. But if they combine that with the suggestion I made last week, and that is being able to build structures in that system or in that mine, in mines, and doorways and fences and stuff like that, having underground cities would be an extremely game-changing addition to the game, in my opinion.
I think you're right. Some other ones that were noted: diagonal pavement types. So right now we can only pave diagonally with one type of pavement.
And that almost seems like an addition, if you think about it, because they already have the solution for one of the pavements.
So we just hope that maybe they can do something like that. But we have had some requests for that.
Yep.
And the one that I think really needs to be worked on is the ability to have our wood types back.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think
something to work on.
I think that one is going to come with a really big overhaul, and that's that new graphics engine that we're hearing so much about. I'm not sure what it entails and what it'll change about the game, how the game will look after it. Maybe it won't even look any different. Maybe we'll barely see a difference, or maybe it'll be game changing as well. But at least we'll have our wood types back.
Yeah. And Schmaltz42 wants an account management system. That would be interesting. Be able to manage all of your accounts for Wurm in one management system. Yeah, I don't know. There's some thoughts. Tell us what you guys would want the dev team to work on. Oh, here's another one. Frail saying character customization. More character customization. Dyeable, which I assume means here, dyeable armor, clothing, and a cooking overhaul. There's some thoughts on what the devs could hopefully at some point work on. Some ideas anyway. And as we close down, let's do one walk through this bridge. Look at this. Look at all down there. I can't even. Hello, how are you?
I'm just riding under it. I think that this looks really cool.
We are across onto another building, and we have no problems. This would be a great addition to our labyrinth. We do want to build more bridges, so we've got another thing over there that we want to build from here to there. Same over there. And we are going to do that. But the bridge system, overall, everything's positive. Anything else you want to end with, Adam?
Nope, I think that's it. That's
all right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this bridge episode. We managed to start, build, and finish a bridge all in one episode. It only took us 1 hour and 25 minutes approximately.
Surprising that we finished this in one episode. We never finished one episode.
Well, we did this way. So another positive aspect of bridges can be done in one episode. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. And until then, continue to play Wurm. We'll see you guys in the game. Take care.